So I'd already mentioned this to the contractor a few days ago, where you're running the tub, right? What? You're running just the tub, right? See how I'm running the tub? And the water's coming out of the shower head, okay? Can you guys see that? Water coming out of the shower head. I'm running the tub. This is completely down to run the tub. It goes up to do the shower, down to do the tub, right? And she, you know what she said? She goes, oh, that's no big deal. That'll fix itself probably. It's probably just air doing something or other. It'll fix itself. But if it doesn't, we'll take care of it, okay? Check this out, people. Coming from the shower head. Remember, they had to do she had a personal plumber who she worked with do all the new plumbing here. Water coming out down the bottom and out the shower head, okay? Now, that's annoying because, again, I like to have just water running sometimes and shave my legs while my conditioner's in my hair, and then I go under here to put my razor, and I don't want to get my hair wet when I'm trying to condition it, okay? Now, I tried to take a bath today because the church woman is telling me you shouldn't take a shower, all right? And I didn't get to clean myself the other day when I was in shock to see those gaps I told you about, all right, that I can't possibly imagine that it's like this. This contraption wouldn't sell, all right? So anyway, I tried to fill the bathtub today. Tried to take a nice bath and shave my legs in the bath and whatnot, okay? So let's shut the shower off. Now, see this drain? It's already concerned me a little bit because it's kind of weird that it just only goes up a little bit. But anyway, this is where the water goes down, and then it goes up sideways that much. And okay, that's as much as it goes. I'm going to show you. Can't push it up anymore. I'm not doing anything wrong. It goes like that's down to put the water down, and this is up. Okay. So I tried to do a bath today. Tried to do a bath. And I filled it up to here, and the water went down, okay? There's nothing I could have done differently. I went and tested it, so I did it nice and tight on my fingers, right? And the water went slowly down. So, let's get all the water out and try again. Churchwoman is like, if this is the case, I told you Joe had to sue his contractor, but it wasn't through insurance. And she's like, talk to the insurance company. Maybe they can force them to refund the money and have someone else brand new install this. Why do I want the same people coming back who did a lousy job the first time? Alright? Like I said, I can almost stick my glasses thing through there. Look. Oh, I can stick my glasses thing through. Look. Look at that. But anyway, I've never seen anything like that in my life, where there's a gap like that. Okay? And again, if it's supposed to be like that, it doesn't make sense to me. On this side too. All the way up and down, okay? I've never, like Kurt said, it's common sense. Showers have to be sealed tightly, but then again, we get the Sterling wrap where people are asking, oh, a 1/8 inch gap is perfectly acceptable when it comes to the side panel attaching to the back panel. I mean, that's not seamless. 1/8 of an inch is not minuscule. But this back one looks to me is more than 1/8 of an inch anyway. So the point is moot. I just don't know what to think. Alright? But anyway, watch me fill the tub. Maybe this time it'll work. But it didn't just now because I wouldn't be bitching about it if it did work. Okay? So this is as up as it goes. Let me show you. It's up as it goes. Can't push it anymore. Can't push it to the side. It goes up. Okay? It is crooked, but, whatever. So, I'm sure that doesn't matter. But anyway, let's do this. Let's try running the tub. and then see how long it takes the water to go down. Water is supposed to stay in a tub. Am I wrong about that? It's not supposed to go down, right? It's supposed to stay in the tub for as long as you want to sit in the tub. I mean, that's what I thought. For the record, if this is how these 4-piece contraptions are, and it's the best you can do, and it has those types of gaps that other people were asking about as well, and that's just how it is, then I would never choose something like that, personally. I would pay to have somebody do custom-made that you know are going to be a hell of a lot tighter than these cookie-cutter box ones you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and you can read people who do the custom-made tell you that much. Because it's not one size fits all, and they're all made in China, and you know what I mean? And even people are saying the measurements didn't match up. They also said that they arrived cracked a lot of times, and mine had a crack in that upper corner. I mean, a chip, whatever you want to call it, small, but still, you know. I would never choose this contraption like this, ever. 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 I know whatever they say, like Kurt says, I don't care what the Sterling reps are saying, the experts in this. Grime and mildew and all that would build up in that acceptable gap, even if it's 1/8 of an inch. Alright? And I don't know if this is a straight to stud, or if it's a one that was glued. I don't know. I'm disgusted with all of this. Alright? And even if it works now, there's obviously, you know, there's something going on, or it would, you know, I mean, last time I checked, you can fill a bathtub halfway, and you can expect the water to stay in and not slowly go down with the drain up. I mean, am I missing something here, people? Maybe I am. But I wanted to make sure you understand that it's as much as it can go up. It's as tight as it is, and down, obviously, so up is the drain, right? So I'll just fill it that much. We're on 812 right now for this camera, okay? It's as up as it can go. We're on 812. Let's see how long it takes that small amount of water to go down with the drain up. Remember, last time I filled it higher. You know what I mean? So, let's see. I'll continue reading to you what Kurt says, because I feel like I'm in the twilight zone when I read the Sterling experts telling people an 1/8-inch gap is fine, you know, and they say don't cock it, don't see it. I don't understand any of this. I said 812, right? Let's see how long it takes that small amount of water to go down with the drain the water's supposed to stay there. Alright, so here we go from Kurt. If I'm missing something, if I've falsely accused this contractor, well, then I am hardly alone, because Kurt, even when I place devil's advocate and say, well, the Sterling rep says this, Kurt's not buying it. Alright? But I believe I went online, and even plumbers were saying there's acceptable gaps for things. I don't know. I don't understand, because I never knew this 4-piece thing exists. I never knew that anybody would tolerate something where your water is going to pound into something, and eventually, even if it doesn't happen instantly, it's going to ruin the stuff behind there. I mean, all right, here we go. Gaps in a shower are not acceptable. Any plumber and installer will tell you this. Gaps let water through and inside. When water gets inside, it goes behind the wall, produces mold, and worse, can damage the underlying support structure of the home or infrastructure. Call the contractor, Laura. Have them come out. They need to repair or replace the entire job. It was not done properly, not at all. Everything you said in your video is an accurate and correct observation. See, Kurt's backing me up, but Sterling experts make me feel like, because I thought that it shouldn't be like that on either side. But they say 1/8 of an inch gap is perfectly acceptable when it comes to that panel in the back wall, the between, They use an analogy of 3 credit cards. That's perfectly acceptable. How is that seamless? How does anybody put up with that fucking shit? They need to repair or replace the entire job. It was not done properly, not at all. Everything you said in your video is an accurate and correct observation. The contractor owner should have done the job themselves. Whomever they had do this job botched it completely. Contractor needs to rip it out and start over using someone who knows what they are doing. This job they did reminds me of the Three Stooges and a Plumbing We Will Go. Only trying to cheer you up. We won't have to pay for anything, pay for any repairs. They should have had competent people do the job right the first time. Be polite but firm. Anyone who sees this would agree they botched the job. They need to acknowledge such and fix it how it should be done right. Hope things work out. I'm very, very bewildered and upset right now, Kurt. Sterling reps say that gaps the width of 3 piled up credit cards are deemed acceptable between the panels in the back wall. You are merely voicing what very pushy, but at least will never allow herself to be walked over. Churchwoman insists to be true. I don't know what to believe, but on the back wall I was actually able to put 4 cards through, and that just, even if they weren't credit cards, they're just like credit cards, and that just can't be right. Water from the shower head will always spray through that gap and ultimately ruin the wall behind. I'm going to share with you what Sterling Reps wrote to people puzzled by the same thing, truly puzzling me. Again, I can't imagine anybody wants these things. The very nature of a tub shower that has water hitting it all the time is it's got to be sealed. It's got to be, that nothing can get through anything. I have this installed, and there is about a 1/8 space between pieces. This is what this woman's asking. A 1/8 of an inch space between pieces. Does it really not need caulking? So she's expressing the same damn thing, Kurt. And this is what the Sterling Reps product expert said. This is Laura with Sterling Plumbing. I am happy to assist you with your question. A gap of the thickness of 3 credit cards or less is acceptable between the end and back wall pieces. A gap of 1 credit card width or less is acceptable between the wall set and bath. How is that acceptable? How does water and ground? I don't get it. Sterling says that gaps 1/8 an inch or 3 credit cards thick is perfectly fine. Guess in Sterling's warped reality, shooting streams of water can't go through 1/8 of an inch gaps in cheap plastic interconnecting panels and walls. Laugh out loud. Kurt, Laura, common sense. Yeah, common sense, but Sterling experts are telling other people, exactly, I don't understand. To me, it was common sense. I was in shock standing there naked and washing my hair and looking at this and imagining all the water going in there. That's why Churchwoman said that the whole job's going to have to be ripped out. They have to check behind the wall, see if it's wet behind there. You're going to have mold. Common sense says a shower should be watertight, period. I do not buy their line that gaps in the wall inside a shower are okay, and neither would anyone else. Common sense 101. But that's what she's telling people. I left you that thing. She's concerned. She's new to this like we are. There's a 1/8 of an inch space between pieces. Does it really not need caulking? And Sterling Product Expert says it doesn't. And then there was another person, I didn't write all this shit down, but I read it all, who said, yeah, I was told not to worry about the gaps and that nothing would happen, and now there's mildew and stuff growing in those cracks. So, gaps in a shower let water gets behind the wall. The gaps need to be covered with waterproof mylar tape or sealed with GE silicone RTV sealant. Solution. You need to have the contractor manager owner come out and inspect this job. Yeah, like she should have done the first time. Far as I'm concerned, me too, Kurt, but maybe I'm in the twilight zone where everything, in my world, there can't be gaps ever in showers where water can, Far as I'm concerned, but then I read what Sterling writes, so I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it needs to be ripped out and started over. Whomever did this used sections, pieces, yeah, I know. And you can actually get them custom made, it just costs more. And maybe this old mobile home, it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all, where you get boxed by the millions boxes made in China that get stocked in only certain sizes at Lowe's and Home Depot and those kinds of places. This isn't coming from me. I read this from somebody who does the custom made and was trying to give examples of why it's much better to get custom made, and he gave 5 examples why it's better to do custom made, and then 3 that it's not, and when you don't do it, it's price. But he said they're not one size fits all, no matter what they try to say, and people have said they come and say they're certain inches and they wind up not being exactly that, okay? That's what it is, Kurt. Whomever did this used section pieces like they sell at Home Depot, yep, you hit the money on the head, nail on the head, and did not install them properly, period. Look at your guarantee and call. Maybe because they were the wrong size and they were cut incorrectly, or it's not one size fits all, as somebody who makes custom, if you wanted to Google a website, Kurt, somebody who makes custom these, you're going to get a tighter, better fit, obviously, than those cookie cutter ones that are produced by tens of thousands in the big box stores. Look at your guarantee and call the contractor. They need to send out a competent individual, preferably a plumber, installer, and redo the job. I know you're stressed over this, but don't be. They need to come out and fix it. Me. She owns the company. The men who did the actual work on my mom's mobile home are her 2 right-hand men. I think she has other people too, but her trusted employees she clearly adores, according to her. They are not going to want to redo this entire shower job. It's not my fault. I need for you to explain to me why I've read everywhere that those gaps, not the one on my back wall, that's even more than 1/8 of an inch, but the ones that are 1/8 of an inch or less are deemed acceptable to a degree of the width of 3 credit cards, Kurt. Please, anybody at all, help me and understand. And remember, I'm not the only one that's been concerned about that. That's why that woman said, if there's an 1/8 of an inch gap, are you sure it doesn't need caulking? And they're like, no, it doesn't. I mean, hey Laura, I'm not a plumber, but it is obvious this is not a one-piece tub shower unit. Such a one-piece tub shower is called an insert, and there are only a few contractors who do this because the entire insides of the shower tub must be measured precisely and then sent out to a factory to be molded as a one-piece unit, which then fits completely over the original tub shower with no gaps or openings. This is a poor job. Whomever did this was not a plumber nor bathroom contractor. They are. There should be no gaps any place in the walls. But remember, professionals can do shitty jobs. They can get lazy. They can get whatever. There should be no gaps any place in the walls. When you take a shower, water goes every place, including inside those gaps. Water then gets behind the wall, starts to produce mold, and then as far as you are voicing the sentiments of churchwoman care. But I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I wouldn't have felt like I was in the Twilight Zone if I wasn't hearing all these things from sterling experts. And then there was somebody else who sarcastically said, yeah, I was told that water repels from there and doesn't go down or something or other. I don't know what he was talking about. And you can try it. You can pour water down. And he's like, I poured water down and it didn't go down to the tub. It went behind the wall. So they're lying. You can have leaks pool behind the wall, cause black mold, which is toxic, or worse, leaks that will rot out the wall joists and construction, water damage, and make the bathroom structurally unsound over time. This is not good situation. There should be no gaps any place in the walls equals me. Not according to Sterling employees, Kurt, and they should know, right? Laugh out loud. And then this other person is saying, it sounds from this article as it's supposed to be done on purpose, but also looks like they didn't finish the job. The tub should have a flexible, waterproof material like caulk or maybe white silicone so that the holes in your walls don't show. It would have a more professional look. And then this person is saying they have a large gap where the acrylic walls would be sitting on the porcelain wall tubs. There's not supposed to be a gap down there either, but this is a tub that comes with it. It's a 4-piece thing, Coco. And I would never buy something like this if it were me. And again, I'm also upset that they didn't install new tracks for my closet doors. Instead, put those cheap things that stick out and has it run just that, I know there were tracks there before, and you could put tracks there again, justifiably, with the insurance company, and if you couldn't get the doors on, you buy new doors. That's how it goes. All right? You fix it as if I hired you to fix it. You don't finagle it with those things, ugly things, cheap things that stick out, and the door just runs on that. The damn Sterling company who manufactures this product tells you that these gaps are acceptable and that you aren't supposed to fill them with caulk. I said that. I'm going to lose my mind if somebody doesn't help me understand how even small gaps, as in the 1/8 of an inch, can be acceptable when water can get through the smallest gap and reach the unprotected wall behind. The gap on the faucet side is, in fact, less than 3 credit cards in width, but the gap runs the entire length of the panel. How the fuck will water not go through that long, acceptable, in quotations, gap and eventually damage the real bathroom wall behind the cheap plastic piece of shit, in my honest opinion, now covering said wall? All I want in the whole world at this moment in time anyways for Kurt or somebody else. Let's see if the tub went down.